Hey, I'm Alexa, and I'm very happy to be submitting this presentation. For my presentation, I've chosen to critique the novel The Handmaid's Tale, written in 1985 by Margaret Atwood. I will be analyzing the novel through the literary criticism of feminism. The novel was written in the anti-feminist backlash of the 1980s when feminists were viewed as breaking apart families. The book The Handmaid's Tale is a work of science fiction, which takes place in the future. It is based on a totalitarian society called the Republic of Gilead. It is based in a world where having children and reproduction has made it very difficult due to pollution. In the book, the protagonist, Offred, is a handmaid. The main character's name is Offred, which comes from the name of Fred, because she is seen as the possession of Fred, who is her commander and the male of the family. The handmaid is a woman who has been delegated the job of being a surrogate for an affluent couple. Those couples who are not able to have children use handmaids to have the child for them. We can clearly see this from the quote, "We are containers, it's only the insides of our bodies that are important." The book takes place in a dystopia and misogynistic world and holds an anti-feminist view. The oppression of women is a recurrent theme in the novel. Women are treated as objects and not allowed to express their own opinions and the emotions. This is expressed in two forms. The first form of being the oppression of being in the state. Women are unable to vote, they cannot own property or have jobs. They are not allowed to read or do anything that encourages independence or undermine their husbands of the state of well-being of Gilead. This quote, "My name isn't Offred, I have another name, which nobody uses now because it's forbidden." This quote shows Offred's loss of individuality. The role of women in this society is based on their skills and fertility. The second method of oppression is by other women. They are categorized into whether they are legitimate or not, who make up the mainstream society, and illegitimate women, who only exist outside the mainstream society. Legitimate women consists of wives, who are the top social level permitted to women, daughters, they are natural or adopted children of the ruling class. Then comes the handmaids, and the handmaids are the fertile women whose social function is to bear children for the wives. Aunts, who train and monitor the handmaids. Then comes the Marthas. They're the older, fertile women whose complaint nature and domestic skills lead them to a life of domestic servitude. The unlegitimate women consist of unwomen. They are sterile women, widows, feminists, lesbians, and nuns, all women who are incapable of interrogating socially with Gilead's gender divisions. Lastly, the illegitimate women are Jezebels. They are prostitutes and entertainers available only to the commanders and their guests. The classes between these women are clearly defined, and the structure is put in place to purposely control them. A very important dynamic in which needs to be understood is the relationship between a handmaid and their wife. The wife is not only in position of authority in the Gilead society, but the male are the leaders. They are, however, in position of authority over the handmaids within their households. The handmaid is supplying service to the family, and this can cause tension between them and the wives. We can see from this quote, they don't want us to look as attractive for them because things are bad enough as it is. This shows how the wives are already jealous of the handmaids since they aren't able to have their own kid. And also in the book, the wife has to put their head over top of the handmaids while having intercourse with the commander. So it's like it's like the wife is having it with the commander and not letting the handmaid have the satisfaction. The Handmaid's Tale is, in my opinion, really Atwood's version of what the world might be if current issues at the time the book was written in the 1980s were not resolved. Amongst the most talked about issues at the time was pollution and the roles between men and women. Throughout the book, Offred, the main character, flashes back to a time before she was a handmaid and a family of her own. In a sense, going back in time where Atwood's flashing forward to a time, which results from our inability to deal with conditions which threatened our society at the time. The Handmaid's Tale is a sense of warning, giving us a view what a potential future of a totalitarian society might have looked like. Atwood is giving us a glimpse of what the future might hold if we continue down the same path. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed my view on feminism with within the Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood.